WNW plus 247%.
Up 189 buy.
Cascading, sell everything. The floor is crashing. WNW is up 200%. This can't be real. Come on. Hold steady. The gainers are exploding. We have to move now. Look at Tesla. It's up 15%. We're missing out. Sell everything! The market's crashing! It's a bloodbath! Get out now! We're all ruined! Do something!